Afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, Tyler?
Good. How are you, Rachel? Haven't seen you forever.
Okay. I know. Change my name here.
There should be like a default setting, maybe.
I know, but sometimes I use it if we're, it's the Logan Mason ROSC email
Yeah.
login. So I don't want to change it to my name permanently in case
Good point. Yeah.
someone else wants to use it.
Hey, Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hey, y'all. Tyler's in the house.
Hey.
Oh my. Looks like it's getting cloudy out again. I thought we weren't going to have rain today.
I think it's supposed to thunderstorm tonight, actually,
Oh.
or just what we need.
Oh.
Sunny over this way, so.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Haven't seen you in a while.
No, I haven't gone a while.
Yeah. Okay. Vacation? Good.
No.
Oh.
I wish.
All right.
We have the volume up. I have to walk up there to see the volume.
Well, I'm not
I gotta walk
talking right now. Okay. Do you want me to talk so you can like measure how loud I am?
Yeah.
I've been told that I talk really loud when I'm on Zoom.
No, you're too quiet.
So if anybody has to turn me down, I see Gracie, you're laughing. Is that true? Do I like shout?
The volume never
No,
goes
it's
up.
only when we're in the office that when you're on Zoom calls, we can hear you from our offices.
Yeah, I like to project because I think people can't. I guess this is the advantage when you're digital. You can just like mute
Can you
me.
hear anything they're saying? No, me neither. So I'm gonna have to
Can you
do
hear
something.
me? Oh,
I can't hear you.
I'm
So
sorry,
let's find the volume.
but I can hear you.
Oh, good. I have a loud mouth. What volume at? I'm gonna mute while I'm trying to find.
Hi, Kim. Hey, Lynn. Hi, everyone else I didn't say hi to. I'm sorry. I'm not excluding you. I just have seen you before, maybe.
Nadia, did you get my email?
I did. That was going to be the topic of discussion today, Kim. That was
Okay, I figured.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't respond, did I? I've been.
That's okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a good suggestion. We figured it might be a little bit lighter on folks that could attend today for various reasons, also being summertime and 2 o'clock on a Thursday. I would say it's because of the weather. It's so beautiful outside, but it's kind of cloudy now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's several folks have reached out to say they weren't able to attend today. So recognizing everyone's time, we can hang out another minute. Oh, hey, there we go. Vicky, are you troubleshooting okay, or do you need?
I'm trying to get volume.
Okay.
You're very, very low. The volume is real low.
If somebody else talks, is it just me or is it everybody that's low?
It's everybody.
Okay. Hi, Josh.
Hello, good afternoon.
Vicky, would you like us to start or would you like another minute? Because I want you to be able
No,
to
go
hear.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Sorry. Welcome everyone to our third, fifth meeting of Logan and Mason ROSC. We anticipated that we would be a little lighter today in attendance, but that's okay. We still have some good ground to cover and some things to share. So Rachel, I made the screen share available if you want to load
Okay,
this
perfect.
discussion and get
Yeah.
going in there. Randy, I just saw your email. So sorry. Okay.
How'd you get that art?
Jeanette made that.
What? Nice.
I used a program, but I thought it just spoke to me. But Canva is the
That's Canva?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you still get attribution. I mean, a painter uses a paintbrush, so you're good. Gold
Yeah.
stars.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. I've welcomed you a couple times now, but welcome again. So let's get to it, right?
Yeah, it's about that time. So I think everyone has attended one of these meetings in the past and has heard us give a little bit of a spiel about what is a ROSC. So this time we're going to do it a little bit differently and ask for your participation. So could everybody think a little bit about what is a ROSC? What are we doing? And let's have a short group discussion about what we are, what are our goals, our attitudes, who gets involved, and what do we believe about recovery. Jeanette is going to pick on someone.
Oh my goodness. I have to pick on Gracie there. Yeah, I got to
And someone has to go first.
Can I
Oh, yeah.
interrupt?
Oh, sure.
Because Rachel, you just picked on Jeanette,
I
making
know.
her pick on someone.
I'm glad you picked that up.
I like how the deflection, you're absolved of any crime.
Exactly
That's
right. I'm glad you
good.
picked that up.
Nice delegation.
A little humor on a Thursday afternoon goes a long way, I have found.
Oh yeah.
Hit it, Grace.
Oh, okay. I was hoping Josh would just like take it. Okay, so you want me to explain all of this?
Not all of it, just pick something and then
Oh.
we'll pick on someone else.
Okay, so I will go with who is involved. Obviously, we are all involved. And I feel like I'm gonna get this wrong. Pretty much anyone who wants to be involved is involved in some sort of fashion or way. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Grace. Lynn, do you want to pick something? What do you know about a ROSC? What can we add to what Grace has said?
From what I know right now, I think my idea of the goal of the ROSC is to collaborate and bring recovery resources and opportunities into Logan and Mason counties that maybe don't exist right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I think that's probably our primary goal at this point, especially as we are just getting started and building and collaborating. So thank you, Lynn.
I'll go next. It took me a while to wrap my brain around, or to come to the understanding of like systems of care as a technical term that exists out there in the like social services field, and its history, where that technical term was applied, I think initially or more commonly to like child welfare, and it's weaving a web of supportive organizations. And so that is the system of care. And so adapting that kind of idea for people in the recovery journey and to really try to integrate many different social service entities and community entities and really get it down into the community fabric. So that's my contribution. Now I'm out.
Excellent. Thank you. That's also absolutely true. Anyone have anything else to add about our current understanding of what we're doing here?
Specific to what do we believe about recovery, everyone has, there's not like a unique, like a standalone definition. Recovery looks different for everyone, whether they've done a different program or had a different journey, and it looks different. So I guess it would be fair to say maybe that there's multiple pathways to be in recovery. Yeah.
Thanks, Nadia. Yeah, so it sounds like you all have a pretty good idea of what we're doing, which is great because we are getting to the place now where we're reaching out, asking for additional collaboration. We're looking for ways for people to fit into our mission and for us to fit into your mission. So that's kind of what we want you to be thinking about. That's what we asked you for your homework. So for those of you who joined us last month, we asked you to think about the following question: where do I fit within the Logan Mason ROSC? And kind of to broaden that, what is your role now, within the recovery community, and where can we support your role? So we're getting to the place now where our fact finding has concluded. We're going to go over our needs assessment results very shortly. But we really want to be thinking ahead and thinking about what are the ways that we can make an impact within our communities here. And we need your help to do that. So we're not going to break into breakout groups this time, but we're going to start talking about where our roles fit and where our experiences and ideas and efforts can fit in. So does anybody want to start? It's a lot of calling on you this afternoon. I'm sorry about that.
I will say something. I think I'm one of the few people from Mason County joining in these meetings. And so, I don't know about expertise, but as far as the area, I've been in probation for 23 years. And prior to that, I worked for Logan Mason Mental Health. So as far as having connections and knowing people in the community, as far as consumers or business owners or resources, there's some familiarity just because I'm here and I've been here for so long. So I'm thinking right now that's, besides the fact that I'm passionate about people in recovery and assisting any way I can in that, but I think just knowing the community fairly well is probably where I could be helpful.
Awesome. Thanks, Lynn.
I will add to that, Lynn, without really knowing your work or knowing you, that that juncture in a person's life where they've had encounters with the justice system represents a pretty highly vulnerable moment, and that also is it seems like your role is especially meaningful that way. But I don't know that for a fact, but it just seems like I think that is a really important dimension of of how we can support people. And that was me contributing without actually contributing what I contribute. I like that.
Well, yeah, well done, Josh.
So I'm good for making lighthearted jokes during serious
Right.
topics. Okay, there's my contribution.
I'll go, I guess. Specific to working in prevention especially, but over the course, I've had the privilege of work with some of you on the opioid task force in Logan and some of the local prevention coalitions in Mason County. I see how to connect it all together. And I think what I can bring would be maybe some support, whatever that might look like, whether I might not be the one that's physically at the event that's being hosted, but I can help do the legwork on the front end of it. Yeah, that's where I see myself.
I think I can probably bring support. I'm going to just recently have talked with Rod Boyd about chairing meetings in the jail. So offering support there, taking people to treatment that need to go because I'm currently not working now and not going to be for a while. So, you know, I have a little more time on my hands. I can put more effort in. That's where I'm at, working with the community.
That's so awesome about the
That's
meeting.
awesome, Vicki. Thank you.
Love you, Vicky, and I miss you.
You too, Lynn.
Same here.
Oh, sorry.
Kim, did you want to say something?
I was just echoing what Lynn said about Vicky.
There's a heart emoji being sent out. I love it.
You're gonna make me cry.
Kim, what do you think? I'm calling on you.
Well, I'm having screen issues, so I don't even know what I look like right now, but I guess just helping coordinate all the resources, work between agencies and the clients and people in the community, and help with what needs to be done.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim. Well, that segues kind of nicely. So I may go ahead and do that unless someone else has something that they want to share at this time. Speaking of needs in the community, we're done with our giant community needs assessment. So thank you all for plugging it out there, for filling it out yourselves if you've done so. We're pretty excited about the results. So I'm going to stop screen sharing, and Nadia, I'm going to let you do Survey Monkey screen share.
Okay, give me a minute.
Yeah, I can talk for a second while that gets pulled up. We actually, I'll go ahead and then I'll go back. We actually had a lot of responses. We had 363 individual responses to our needs assessment survey. So we're really thrilled with that. That's a huge chunk of information that we get to now sort of dig through and start to find patterns. I'm not sure, me personally, that I was very surprised with some of the patterns that I've started to see. So we're interested to see what you all think when we go over. We're going to do kind of a high level overview today, and anybody who wants to dig in with us on more specific data specific to certain questions or something like that, we are happy to schedule a data date with you at some point. But for now, we're gonna just kind of do a high level overview.
Okay. All right. Do you want to narrate while I show, or how best can you all see what I see?
We can tag team it. How about
Okay.
Jeanette, you can jump in here too if you want. Is anybody really quick, like, this is a pretty easy question to answer this as a group. Is this surprising for anyone? That what did we have here? You know, between agree and strongly agree. Yeah, we had 70% here and 16.5%. This
The only
isn't
thing
a
that
surprise to anyone, right?
No, it's the 36 people who answer no. No, I'm sorry.
That
strongly
is a
disagree.
little surprising. I think that might be more in the denial camp than actual information. But I think when we look around and we look at numbers and we look at what's actually going on, everybody knows someone who this has happened, that this is their reality. And I think there's an incredible readiness within the community to do something. That's the overwhelming and maybe the takeaway of everything. This question came first because we felt like it was important to create that personal link, to have people recognize that these are my friends, these are my neighbors, these are my family members, people in my church, people in the coffee shop next to me, that are struggling, and that we as a community have an opportunity at this point to do more. So that's what we're here to do. I thought that was a really telling, even stronger. No one's surprised by this either. Between agree and disagree, it's 90%. Recognized.
Strongly agree that substance use
Yeah,
is a
agree and
problem.
strongly agree.
91% or 90%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an issue or a problem. And about 5% strongly disagree that's the problem. At least.
I want to sit down with those 17. Those are the ones that I
yeah, Vicky, I see you shaking your head. What would you say to those 17 people? Like, what would you say at that point if
They're in
someone said,
denial.
for sure? Yeah.
They do not want to look at it at all.
Right.
Do we feel like that's a problem within the community, that there's at least a surface level, even if people answered on the survey that they know there's something wrong? Is there a surface level denial?
Oh yeah.
Of just turning the other way and looking the other way?
And I think that divide is generational divide. When you think, Vicky, like there's, yeah.
I think it's denial. I can do it in myself on one thing and see something real clear on another. So I do it my own self on certain issues.
Sure.
So the trend that we're seeing regarding existing services, I think it's important to have data to back up what we already know. And between strongly disagreeing and disagreeing, yeah, 82% say that there is not adequate supports in the community.
And I would add, Nadia, that equally, and perhaps slightly surprising to me, but very telling, that there's 10% that don't know.
Yeah.
So what that means is there's 10% that are not educated or don't care or have not seen the opportunities for services for people in recovery.
I think there's
Right.
a level of limited exposure for a very small number of people, and that may be reflected in this graph and the previous one.
Yeah, we think so too. And I think that that's important. And as we move forward, that's one of the pieces that we hope to help to address, is the gap in awareness, because awareness is a first step towards folks having access to services and knowledge of services.
People just don't really understand how close those two go together, the mental health and
Exactly.
the substance abuse.
Exactly.
Right.
They tie together, is what I should have said. Yeah. Hand in hand.
Stigma or loss of opportunity associated with coming forward with having a substance use disorder or mental health issue in the community. So yeah, is there stigma around this issue?
And we wanted to ask this question primarily because we see stigma reduction campaigning and tying in, there's actually going to be a statewide Faces and Voices of Recovery campaign for stigma reduction around substance use disorder. And we are hoping to tie in a little bit with that. They are really excited, and they're talking about statewide billboards and all kinds of things like that to help at least crack the ice on the conversation in the lens of what we're doing, which is that there are multiple pathways to recovery. Everyone has a chance to recover, and trying to increase access to services and supports.
Say, ask the question. Oh.
So
You have a question, Vicki, or comment?
Deborah does, but she wants to ask me, not you guys.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You can
That's
type it in the chat.
you can pop it in the chat too if you don't feel comfortable speaking in front of the group. You can write it in the chat.
Oh, well, why don't you just say it?
Well, my question is this. A lot of times people don't make recovery, and that's why they get around, but then they don't make it. That's what's making that situation there become a problem.
She's saying that just say it out loud.
I'm saying this question right here. If you're in recovery, don't make it. And I think the odds of person making it into recovery is 1 out of 33. 3 people out of 100 make recovery. And maybe this is an issue is because there's such a stigma on recovery people not making it, that this becomes a problem after that.
I think what she's trying to say is the employing people with mental health and substance abuse.
And housing, the same thing, is because
people don't want to take a chance
I
on
know
them.
through experience that very few actually get to stay in recovery. And so the odds are out when it goes back out there in the community, people are not willing to take the chance on it.
Right, and that applies to the employment and housing. It applies to lots of things.
Yes.
There's stigma within groups of friends or religious organizations or families.
Yeah.
All kinds of things like that. And trying to overcome that stigma, I think, is a huge, huge task that we would love to make a dent in. So we would really welcome any ideas that anyone has to start, with open arms, finding ways to welcome people and create pathways for people after recovery. Because I think I do see that as part of our mission here.
Yeah, I think that's where, when we talk about connecting, right, and overlapping, and where we can really make those connections is, having a pool of employers that we've already, spoken with, and, whatever that avenue is, but already have that pool. I think that's how the ROSC can help too. And all of us who know someone else who, someone else that is offering a job or an opportunity or, housing, those kind of things. But Deborah Kay is absolutely right. Like, you can even do the right thing. You can want to do the right thing and still be labeled and doors shut down, and the smaller the community, the more difficult it is. It's hard to hold my
Yeah.
face up at times have gone through things and people know, you know what I mean? It can get difficult for those. Those are very real concerns. And so how do we change that gap with the connection and making connections with employers and business owners and that kind of thing, but also that the stigma of it, period, that we don't just show up at a health fair, or we don't, but we're in conversations, we're in locations to say, hey, y'all, you know, it is okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? It's okay where it doesn't have to be a whisper here and a, you know,
Yeah.
kind of thing, but that we normalize the availability of help, and that, you know, that we, I don't know, that's just.
I think the other part of that is too, when, you know, we don't, a lot of myself, I'll just throw me out there. In the past, wouldn't take a chance on now someone who is looking for a job and I know they're use, you know, because I feel like, oh, well, they're not going to stay, you know, but if then I've soon realized you have to take those chances because you don't know if it's the job that's going to get that person sober or the connection that you've made with them to help them get sober, not get them sober, help them get sober, because that little bit of the boost or self-esteem, whether it be a job, a friendship, might be the thing that turns them around.
Not to mention an element of stability with some income and
Exactly.
yeah. Do you think, I have to admit to y'all, I serve 20 counties, and so I'm really not super familiar with Logan and Mason counties, but I was thinking, is there the appetite and capacity to to run a campaign targeting businesses? It's like that they could be like a recovery champion business where they overtly, I don't know if we get Dito laminate stickers made or something that they can post in their storefront or something like that, which is like, you know, it's a sign, it signifies like we take a chance, we'll take that chance with you. I don't know, just an idea.
I know of a few businesses that would take that chance, but I'm not sure about.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking, like, the appetite. Is there like enough space for that kind of a campaign to go down and stick? I mean, it starts with a couple, and then it expands outward from there. I mean, it's just.
I think there would need to be some education. I don't think that it necessarily would get completely shot down, but I think there need to be outreach.
Some dialogue. I mean,
yeah,
you'd have to pitch it per se.
Right. And it would be nice because there's some existing organizations that are already working with employers to either maybe horn in on what they're doing, because it's a market that I don't think they realize could be good for them, especially right now when there's a lot of people who are wanting to find workers and they're not being able to get the workforce. They don't
understaffed,
maybe realize what's out there that they could take a chance on.
But now might be the perfect time to do it, since nobody's wanting to go back to work and we need employees.
That's my point.
That's
my point.
And I mean, this is always like the I don't know, the kind of like underbelly of the rationale, but also there's an optics, if I can use that term, thing that right now the addiction crisis is kind of in the forefront. It's you hear discussions about it all the time. Here we are in this ROSC meeting. It's certainly an issue that has taken a more prominent space across American culture. And so maybe, maybe businesses who want to stand out, this might be a way to stand out.
And I would add to that, Josh, that a lot of consumers and a lot of people in general are looking to purchase not just an item or a meal or something, but they're looking to contribute in a meaningful way to society with their purchases.
Yeah,
There's
that's
an angle there too, for
Mhm.
sure.
that's why I have Toms on my feet right now.
Exactly. Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't, I'm kidding, but
Well,
I'm working from home. I don't have any shoes on right now. It's pretty nice.
I like that.
I think, as I'm listening to the conversation too, again, it's going to be a level of connection and collaboration. Because, when I think about, we need recovery housing, transitional housing here. We need something like that. We can't begin to have that conversation when we don't have employment available so those folks in that housing can sustain themselves. So
Yeah.
creating that and developing those relationships, right? Whether it be avenues of internships, whether it be some vocational job skills, life skills training that happens on the front side, and those folks who there we can endorse. And I don't know how it can happen, but what I do know is that I believe this is the body of people, the ROSC in itself, this is where the players are. And it's really bringing those things that we all want to see, because at the end of the day, we are serving the same people. We are serving the same households. If it's not the same exact person, it is in that household that is something else. There's some other service. And how can we have more of a holistic approach to support recovery and self-sufficiency? That's my hope, that we, you know what I mean? Because all of that working together, we touch stigma, we, bring awareness to the lack thereof services and whatnot. So,
and we would love to put a work group together.
Absolutely.
For any of these individual ideas that come up. If something really tugs on you, if something is like your thing that you want to jump in on, we're also going to be starting to identify a few key areas where we can make an impact, and we'll be seeking volunteers for those things. So keep that in the back of your mind as well, because this is, I think, what we're here to do. Now that we have our information, it's what we're here to do. So no surprises here on this question. Woeful lack of available information. And also a lot of people who don't know. A lot of people, they don't even know if information is available.
Which means it isn't.
Which means it isn't. So they
Like
could
if
get
the
lumped
information
in.
that does exist doesn't make it to a person, then it's tantamount to it not even being there in
Correct.
the
If
first
the
place.
tree falls in the forest, sort of a situation.
Well, I'm
Well,
going to add
wait.
something there too, maybe just to consider, because I think things like this, and when people see this, sometimes we don't see something because it doesn't affect us. It's not something that we're worried about, and there could be information right here and we just don't see it because it does not affect us. I think though, the more we talk about these things, the more we present these things, the more that I go to Rotary and talk about these things, and I go to other places where this usually isn't the topic, then we are also hopefully encouraging people, planting seeds with them not even knowing, to start paying attention to what's out there. So just kind of trying to find the silver lining in that one. But, that there are some stuff, but we just have work to do.
Right.
So we're on question 5. I want to be mindful. This is really good discussion. We have about 20 other questions to look through. I don't want to push this because it's very valuable information, and it's creating a lot of important discussion. I just wanted to check in with that a little bit. So
Agreed.
we can keep going. I think the pace that we're keeping is okay because it's fostering good information. The idea, and we'll get to that, is looking at this data and what does it tell us, like where are our biggest gaps, and that's going to help create focus specific to development of like working groups. Okay, so employment's a big issue. What does that mean? And how are we going to address that? So we're gonna have a working group focus and finding businesses that are supportive of have supportive hiring processes, or what does that's just one subset. That doesn't have to be that, but anyway.
Right.
Can keep moving forward with
We
it.
can, those first questions, Nadia, I think were some of the meatier ones and maybe more of the broad overview kinds of questions. A lot of these got a little more specific. And as I said, we're happy to dig into a day-to-day if anybody's really excited about numbers and all those things. But you're right, we don't want to necessarily, beat this all to death. We are going to be putting together a couple different forms of summary documents. The long form that's going to go to the state, which is going to be available for everyone to see. And then also we're going to do a smaller, shorter, kind of pretty version, which we're going to distribute because we're excited about this information and we would like to share it with our community.
And by all means, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, is it possible to get a hold of the CSV file of this? Or is that something you all want to keep close? I won't go publishing it on the web or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure we could, if we have a way to share it, I don't think there's a problem there.
Yeah, I think you can export a CSV.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So that was going to be
shoot
my
it over
other offer is if someone wants the full, all the questions and all the responses, we can share that as well. This has been needed for a very long time and there's no sense in keeping it to ourselves. Like, let's share with, respectful of what.
Exactly right.
So yeah.
This is another area that we wanted to focus a little on because it's an area that we've identified as a potential place of impact that we could have with the ROSC. Safe, sober, fulfilling activities geared towards people in recovery are available. I think the world's tiniest percentage of people said yes, and everyone else said either they don't know or no. So I think having access to event, not just events, but activities that are recurring, activities that are ongoing, to create an alternative to, socializing in a place that sells alcohol or, is in another way a trigger environment. Having a place or a group of people doing something else is, I think, a really positive thing we could add to Logan and Mason counties. So I'd love to see a work group on that as well, and would love to dig into that a little bit more. We can scroll a little, Nadia.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
If you see something that sticks out or Jeanette, if you see something that sticks out that we want to chat about.
How do we want to say this? There's nothing super surprising. It's what we kind of know, and it's what's getting confirmed. Like there's barriers to treatment. That's
another area that we could have some sort of a work group or and Vicky, you're already helping with that by taking people doing rides to treatment and things like that. Transportation is a huge barrier to recovery for a lot of people in rural communities.
Support employment. Yep. Job placement. That's what we mentioned. We're breezing through this. Appropriate services for co-occurring.
Right. And that's that's something that again becomes just educating service providers. If there's a mental health provider, perhaps reaching out to them and saying, we have a lot of overlap in what we're doing. And the don't knows get, even larger as the
That's what I was
survey.
thinking.
Yeah, as the survey goes on and the questions got more specific, we had a higher and higher percentage of people that don't know.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of deviation among the major grouping of it's either disagree or agree in various levels, but the don't knows got extreme.
And I know I thought that was a interesting, or I mean, I was glad we added that into the survey. And that is something that anyone that I encouraged to fill out, that I did say, you know, if you don't know, just say that, because that is information we need. And I just, as you say, it's telling. It's telling.
And even if something did exist and folks don't know about it,
Yeah.
how many people is it helping?
Exactly. Yeah. The appropriate level of services.
I mean, that's not a surprise. We can look at that question, all of us, and say, yeah, folks with limited or no insurance aren't getting what they need. They're not. We know that. And I think I would have some questions for the 29 and 6 people who think that they are. I would have some really hard questions like, what universe do you live in? Because no, we know that that's not the case.
You know, where I found some of that or had some of that discussion actually comes from folks who are providing some of the services.
Oh.
And I found that interesting. I had a couple conversations with some mental health provider, you know, service providers, and not law enforcement, but in that family, you know, and it's some folks really think that that those things are happening. And yeah, it's just interesting conversations to have.
Well, definitely the insurance conversation with a healthcare provider can get pretty sticky pretty quick. Yeah, no.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. And I think sometimes this survey sort of challenged us a little bit to step out of our own bubble. And I think if somebody is living in a world where that's their role, is that they're serving exclusively folks with little or no insurance and are getting them services, they might say, oh yeah, no, there's services available. Here I am. Where a little bit of distance from that situation, that isn't the case.
You get an quality of service and options and choices,
Mhm.
you know, and those do not have any of those.
Here's the big one, just knowing if there's peer support out there or not. 30%
Right.
don't have a clue.
Some folks didn't know what it was, period.
Do we feel like that's something that we could address?
I
That we
definitely
could-
certainly hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
for being a person with lived experience, man, the more people that we can get credentialed, the more people that we can help understand that it is our difficulties that make us most qualified for these peer support specialist positions. I mean, I think that's really what's going to shake things up, because I know myself, I'm tired of people making decisions for me who have never experienced the things that I've gone through. So what do I have to do about that? I have to get myself in alignment with getting the education piece that I need, which now the state of Illinois offers that through the, you know, certified recovery support specialist credential. If we started getting credentialed and we get into the hospitals and we get into the treatment centers and we get into, you know, the counseling sessions and the police departments and the DCFS. Can you imagine have peer support going through that kind of stuff? I mean, so that's my soapbox, but I'm really truly seeing that peer support, the collaboration thereof, and how we can educate each other to get on that track is what's going to be a game changer.
I think we're at the precipice too, Jeanette. I think that we're seeing change is always slow when you start to like have to measure it on a societal level. But I think we're getting there. I think it's actually turning the corner, personally.
I'm with you. And that's why I was excited to be at this table.
And that's exciting because there's a lot of opportunity to help educate and train community members to become peer mentors. So
Well, I can tell you, I'm more apt to listen to someone who's been there, experienced it, than
Yeah.
someone who hasn't. I respect them still, but if you walked in my shoes, you know those shoes. You know what this person, and you can get more in tune with what they're going through, I think.
And these are things that credentials that we can start offering in institutions and in people preparing people to come home, to be able to know that what you've gone through in that institution, whether it be incarceration or whatever, that it is that experience that can, we can set people out ready to go serve. And we could start that, as early as possible. So I am excited. Josh, I agree with you. I think that people have went ahead of us on this effort for years and years and years. But I do think that we have turned a corner and this is where it's at. And so the more people that we can get at the table, there's no longer, thinking that our voice doesn't matter and no one wants to hear. That's crap. Yes, it does. We have to get to the table. We may not have all the words we need or whatever we think we ought to bring, but we need to get at that table. All right.
No, and it's proven effective. That's the way to make it happen. And it's sustainable too. So, grant funding comes and goes, but building supports that are long lasting. I mean, what better way to really see success in the communities, right? Okay, timing. So we will have a date scheduled. We'll send it out via email. If you would like to participate, we'll sit with this more in depth. If you want your hands on a full copy of this data, I will send it to you or have someone on my staff.
Yeah, just shoot us an email. We will happily share a little breakdown of all of this. This I'm pretty proud of, though. We did get a pretty good split between Logan and Mason counties, considering the population difference. I think that's a pretty good split here.
And age-wise, I mean, it's fairly split as well.
Yep.
So, and you see that typically with
Participated.
More ladies filled out the survey than gentlemen, but that makes sense too, if you think about it.
Does.
But
no offense, gentlemen. No offense.
This, I mean, for the amount of time and the amount that the community has invested in answering these questions, I don't want to discount that in our meeting today, but we will have an opportunity to really dive down even more. There will be provided like a one pager, pretty like graph heavy, something which
will be shareable in a few different formats.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be good. Thank you for your insight and feedback. Just even in that 35 minutes that we've taken to review that data, we've already come up with some working groups that can really start trudging forward.
So with as complete as we felt like that needs assessment was, there's always room to dive a little deeper. And just like we took some time to go over questions and got some really awesome feedbacks, thank you for all of that. We are going to be moving forward with focus groups. So maybe we'll take a couple minutes to plug that, Nadia.
Yeah, so we have that solid quantitative data with that needs assessment. So now we want the qualitative to help us fill in the gaps and tell the story. And so the launch date's still up in the air, but late August, September timeframe, looking to conduct several focus groups with anyone in Logan and Mason, just to ask several questions and then get personal personal answers and finding out what that story is and what are we missing. So we have all this great data, but is it telling us the entire story? And so structure, well, it depends on what COVID rates look like or who knows what's changing, but at least setting up a virtual focus group. They'll kind of quick logistics. We'll promote it, send out a link. Anyone interested in participating can register, and then they can join. And then incentive is a gift card for their participation. And more.
Yeah, so be thinking about who might be a good fit for that.
Yeah.
If you know someone or if you're a good person, be thinking about that, because we're going to be reaching out with more information about focus groups shortly.
Yeah.
But wanted to plant that seed as well. And this one, last month we talked about September coming up soon. We are now a month and a half away and are excited about this year's National Recovery Month. So we are hosting tomorrow, for anyone who's able to join. I know it's a little last minute. We're hosting a small little brainstorming session, but you're also welcome to chime in via email with ideas for what we are going to do. So up in your Zoom header up there, you can annotate things. Please vote one in each color. So you can do, if you had to pick one, if you were choosing between a recovery walk and a picnic and maybe some kickball, choose one of those. And since we serve 2 counties, would we rather have the same day and 2 separate events going on at the same time? Or would we rather have 2 separate days with, you know, the same group of volunteers, is basically what I'm getting at from a logistics standpoint. So we see this as an opportunity to get out in the community, to do something stigma reduction and overall networking, overall like being active and out there. This is also a possible first of many safe, sober family activity. So something that we would love to get like awesome turnout, a lot of people with lived experience, a lot of people in recovery now to attend, and as many community partners that we can drum up between now and then. Okay, so it looks, has everyone had a chance to vote, or would anyone like to vote verbally, and I can annotate for you?
Learn how to annotate.
It's up in the top next to pause share, Jeanette.
There's some view options. Click the down arrow.
Oh, view options.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever used the word annotate out of my mouth in my life until this moment.
Yay.
Is that-
First for me too, Jeanette, so.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can do it.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. Thank you. I need all the support I can get.
I'm just trying to use the word that Zoom uses so we can all find it in the little thing.
I'm not too proud.
You guys want to pick one of those?
I always pronounced it anotate.
I like
Of
that
course you
better.
have, Josh.
I like that better. It's got flair.
It sure does.
All right. So it seems like the overall is a walk would be great. I think that makes sense. There has been a recovery walk in Lincoln in the past, 2 recovery walks. And so that would probably be a really fun and relatively straightforward event to put together. Having 2 of them seems to also be, does anyone want to speak to why they voted that way?
I voted that way because I feel like we are still building momentum. And when we can have one county support the other county and vice versa, I think that we can, you know, generate that momentum. So that's why and just logistically, I think it'd be, I don't know. Yeah, that's why.
I voted for the separate event dates just because like logistically, like what probably Jeanette's about to say is like doing 2 events on one day is a lot emotionally.
It's a
physically.
lot. Yeah, and even if they were 2 separate volunteer teams, trying to kind of everybody coordinate does feel like, I'm not surprised by that answer. That's very logical.
But
Okay.
what we do know for certain is that we need your help in planning. So like Rachel said, tomorrow we had kicked it out last meeting, kind of, we were going to get together. This is a date we came up with. Anyone that can come and that's interested in helping for this event, and anyone who enjoys putting events together. I mean, this could be the beginning of the, event team, working team. But this is where, the conversation hits the ground and we make some things happen. So I'm super excited. Anyone that can join us tomorrow at 3, and anyone who is in the area or not, I can come to you that's interested, or you have other volunteers that are interested in helping, I can come and meet, and whatever we can do to continue to help facilitate, us getting together and make things happen. So exciting. Our first event, like.
I would like to throw something in here.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jeanette, you remember the hog roast event that we had at my house early on, and we invited treatment centers. They bussed in people from different treatment centers because we have like 3 acres out here. That was a big event. It was a hog roast, and everybody, people in recovery helped cook. Everybody was involved, setting up, getting it ready. From days and weeks it took to get it ready. It was a big event, but it was a great event. We even had a band on the front porch.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I love it.
They loved it. I mean, loved it. There was probably 200 people here.
That's so cool.
Amazing.
Yes, it was a great event. So, when you put that up there, picnic, I'm thinking picnic, my mind goes to something a little bit more elaborate, inviting people from all over.
The like
different
souped up
communities to come.
picnic.
Yeah, and then they camped out and stayed the
Oh,
night. We
that's
had
so
breakfast
cool.
in the morning.
Like a
That's cool.
like a festival.
Yeah, I was the cook. Yeah.
You did the
picnic
hog?
pot.
You did the
Called it
hog?
River goo. What did you say?
So you did the hog?
My husband and people from recovery did the hog.
That's so
Awesome. Did
cool.
you dig a hole and do that way?
No, they did it in a cooker, and it was donated from one of the local farmers right around the corner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so that is definite. Those are things we want to work to, Vicky,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. Maybe that's an annual event. Maybe we do that in September, from here on. But those are the kinds of things that we want to continue to build. And I know the 2 ladies behind you, we've definitely sat down at tables talking about putting some stuff together. And I feel like, for the first time, at least that I've seen, is that there really is the support, and just really, with the ROSC and we got that oomph, right, to get together and start making things happen. So, and that's what's so beautiful, is to see the folks who consistently, one way or another, have stayed connected, because it's, it feels like we are turning a corner.
And we want
I
to
keep
take this
telling them,
excitement and this momentum and lift with it. That's what we're trying to do at this next phase of things.
Vicky, did you bring up the that gathering kind of to let us as a suggestion that it happen again? Or were you kind of throwing it out there for I mean, is it something that you and your husband would have?
Oh yeah,
have the
my
interest
husband
in?
would do it again.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. That's why I put my little mark on picnic.
There you go.
No, I have to admit, I only saw kickball and I thought, oh, that's hard.
I was thinking that with kickball. I get hurt.
I just saw picnic. That's all else.
Well, I love like thinking elaborate, like Vicky described. So when I think picnic and I think bringing food, I'm thinking we're gonna go in all in, and I feel like this go around, maybe we need to just, as we're getting our footing, but
Well,
aspire to.
as I say that, we brought in recovery from all over. The band was from Peoria. They were a recovery group band. We brought in people, the clients from Heritage. We had recovery from over at Little America. That's Lynn's neighborhood. Canton, Havana. They came from everywhere. We run a
Awesome.
flyer, we dropped it in every meeting as we were going along. And then when the time came, nobody expected to have that many, but it turned out great.
I love it.
Did y'all have a porta potty on site?
We did.
Okay.
We
I'm
did.
sorry I had to ask the question, but
We thought of that.
That's real talk right there.
Logistics are important.
Yeah, real talk.
We
Super duper
we
real
thought of
rap
that. We're
right
like,
there.
ugh, in the
And
house,
you could
out of the
do-
house.
You could do bags instead of kickball too.
There
That's
you go.
true. Yeah, kickball was just an idea that someone had thrown out. But yeah, there's lots of different ways that it could go, and especially we love the idea of working towards something bigger like that, and putting something together. Maybe even it could, maybe it's not for Recovery Month this time, but maybe we figure something else out.
I think that's how we're going to connect everybody, is to go to all over Central Illinois, drop off the flyers, say, this is what's happening. Please be there, support, everyone wants to support each other in recovery. And that's how you meet the people. That's how you connect. And that's how you get it going. That's how you make it
Absolutely.
bigger than what it is.
Yeah,
I was
something.
explaining. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was just going to say something that actually is kind of a challenge, but it's I guess for a good reason. It's a good thing, is that there's recovery month events going off. Like September is busy, there's like every weekend there's more than one event. So people kind of have to pick and choose, and where you're saying like, between organizations want to support one another, and September's weekend calendar is starting to get really full. And then since I have the floor, I just wanted to say that would there be anything problematic if the walk culminated with some sort of like food related picnic thing?
Right.
I mean,
No,
no.
not at all.
Okay.
That's the reason I
I'm
split them
hungry.
was
I didn't
because
have
I wanted to see if people had a preference. But I do think, especially maybe because this year we're getting a little bit later start than we will next year. I thought perhaps it might make more sense to do one or the other this time. And then I am in love with the idea of the pig roast. We could have a walk in the morning, and then, hey, see y'all later at Vicky's house.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, if you want people to meet and to socialize, bring food, Josh. I'm serious.
That's
if
correct.
you want that walk, have hot dogs afterwards, because you
That's
got to
correct.
get them talking and interacting. I mean, if you just do the walk and then walk away, there's no interaction. People aren't meeting.
Yeah, you're not
I
I couldn't
At
agree
least
more.
sitting down and eating a hot dog with someone, you're connecting.
Mhm.
That's right. Well, thank you all so much. This has been I think one of our more productive meetings, for sure. And I'm really grateful for everyone for chiming in. Your homework this month is so simple. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, which you might know about the YouTube because we send you the links. But please like us and follow us, and encourage anyone who would like our updates to do the same. Last but not least, everyone say hi to Randy. Randy, you want to say hi really quick to the group?
I think she got disconnected.
Oh no. Oh, no. She was here earlier.
She was.
Yeah, she was.
Well, Randy Wilson is going to be helping out with Jeanette and Nadia over the next couple of months because I am going out on maternity leave in somewhere around August 11th. But you know how babies are. We'll see when he comes.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. we're ready for him now at this point.
Bracing for impact.
Yes, we think we're naively ready.
Okay.
Everyone with kids knows you're never ready.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And they're just gonna drop like a bomb into your life.
Yay.
Hey, what is the social media? What's the Facebook
Oh, the handles. I should
handle?
have put that in
Yeah,
here.
what's the handle?
Let's
So
see.
it's
You have those, Jeanette?
yeah. Well, Logan County Recovers Together and Mason County Recovers Together are the Facebook handles, and what is the Instagram?
Run.
It is, oh yeah, Mason Logan was the, what was that?
For the Instagram.
Yeah. Logan Mason ROSC, separated by, what do you call them?
An underscore.
Underscore. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. So Logan _ Mason _ ROSC is our Instagram. And then Logan County Recovers Together and Mason County Recovers Together. Any content that you have, I also know I'm going to throw this in there too, is that I will continuously be reaching out to folks to put some content together. We want to have some information from highlighting agencies to council members, to just different resources that are available in the community, so that we can start putting those things up in our social media. Anyone that wants to, help out with that, we definitely have fun incentives, any great ideas, definitely open for that. So I thought I'd sneak that in, but wherever you are, Randy, super excited you're going to be helping us out. And Rachel, I don't even want to start talking about how much we're going to miss you, but anywho, it'll be good.
I'll be back.
Awesome. Does anyone have any final thoughts, closing comments, questions? See y'all tomorrow at 3.
Here's our contact information again for anyone who doesn't have it. Thank you all for joining us.
I have a quick question. Jeanette, when is the walk again? September?
We're going to decide tomorrow
Okay.
during the work.
Yeah, get a hold of me when you know.
Okay.
Definitely.
Ooh,
Thank you.
One more thing. I almost forgot. Thoughts from the group. There was suggestion about moving the council meeting time from 2 p.m. to noon on the
Yes.
Thursday. Thoughts, feedback?
Is it for you guys? Now you're off work?
From what time?
From 2 to noon.
Noon, horrible. Well, I'm back.
You're back to
To
work.
work August.
Oh, okay.
We're back into the work. School starts.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts?
They probably figured to do it over lunch hour.
Yeah.
But that
So
doesn't look
So you don't like it or you do like it?
they don't like it.
No. Okay. I'm back. Okay.
We're back in the schools.
Got it. Oh,
They're
okay. 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 All right. That sounds good. If there's other feedback, we'll keep it at 2 for August. But if you hear or sense, like, we'll send out another poll come fall, see if we can meet for a time that works for folks. And also too, as these working groups start coming online, there'll be more opportunity that will be more accommodating as well. Good feedback. Okay. Anybody have anything else?
Bye.
Thank you all for your
No,
time
I
today.
think-
Nice seeing
Thank
you.
you,
Nice talking to
everyone.
y'all.
Good seeing
Bye.
everybody. Take care.
See y'all
Miss you.
tomorrow on our event planning call.
I like it.
Video.